Hello beautiful people. Welcome back to another vlog. This is a weekend vlog where I just take you around to hang out with me, where I got to hang out with friends, and I was looking through these clips and thinking about how I wanted to introduce this video, but honestly the biggest thing that really comes to me is just so much gratitude for the fact that I get to have these fun moments, and there's just so much love in my life. And before we go into the video and I share with you what I'm up to, what I do, the different food that we eat, the movement, something that I just want to say is, I know in this day and age, especially if you're watching this video, right, you're probably into, or the algorithm is maybe showing you things about spirituality and abundance and manifestation and blah blah blah. And while we can think about wanting more and manifesting more and creating more abundance for ourselves, I do also just want to remind you guys that you have so much abundance around you. And when I think about wanting to manifest more abundance, I realize that sometimes I get into a hard spot with it because it's like I'm asking the universe for something that I already have. I think about my parents, my family, my husband, my dog, where I live, my friends, what I get to do for a living, being here, having enough food, having a roof over my head, and I'm like, what else could I want? And of course I would like more so that I can do more, but it always feels good to be able to trace back to all those things that I already have in my life, because it just makes me feel really grateful. You know what I mean? So that is my little opening intro talk for you. And this weekend is just a weekend. I'm gonna talk more about it anyway, so why don't we just go into the video? But before we do that, if you've really been enjoying these vlogs, I would really love it if you interacted in some way. It really helps me out. It helps the YouTube algorithm know what you want to see more of. If you could like this video, if you're watching this, you probably already subscribed, but if you haven't subscribed yet, this channel is all about, I make a lot of vlogs, and I just like to share my life as somebody who really lives in purpose. And my purpose is to help you all feel really, really good about your own lives, and to know that you are empowered to do things that are really amazing, that can really raise you up. If this is your kind of vibes, you like wellness, holistic health, vlogs, silly girl things, realness, make sure you press subscribe. And I try to upload videos every Friday, so this is where we will be just hanging out. And I'm also on Instagram, where I share a lot more about how I help other people, but on this YouTube's channel, this is just, longer form of me. And I also have a podcast. Everything is in the description below. But anyway, with all those formalities aside, let's get into the video. I just finished a movement class. I wouldn't necessarily call it a yoga class because it's like fusion yoga, Pilates, all these other things and I'm just like bringing my phone up so I can show you guys. I think I mentioned this in another vlog, but I've been taking also in tandem with like Ashtanga guided classes. I've also been taking these live classes from this app called Open. So the Open app, you can get a free month in the link in the description. So I've just been taking these classes. They're called flow classes, but they are a combination of like movement and breath. It's dynamic work, it's flexibility, and it's strength, and it's like based on yoga but not necessarily yoga. So I've just been taking a lot of these classes lately because it's just easier for me to get my movement in, and lately my body's been craving a lot more yoga type exercises. So rather than strength based, I've been getting into the mat a lot more, and I think it's interesting because sometimes I'm like, oh no, I've been telling people that I've been doing a lot of strength training, and then now I'm doing a lot more yoga. You don't only have to do one or the other, but for me personally, I like to keep things really consistent. So if I'm getting into a regular yoga practice swing, I'm gonna be doing a lot more yoga on a regular basis. And then if I'm getting into more of a strength-based swing, that's what it's gonna be. And for my particular self, I like consistency. I like to know what my schedule is because it helps me use my brain a lot more efficiently. I don't really have to think about like, oh, I need to be going with the flow. I think a lot of people like that, but for me personally, I do like to kind of go with the flow, but I also just like to keep things nice and structured. So anyway, I just finished my flow, and I didn't mention that earlier today I had class. So every Saturday morning I have class, and then on Sunday mornings now I have my coaching calls. So now pretty much every day I'm waking up very early, but I guess that's the hustle. That's the life of somebody who's a business owner, works full-time and also goes to school part-time. And I think some of you can also relate to this too. I know that there are a lot of people out there watching this right now that are both doing school and work at the same time, and let me tell you, I'm right here with you with the hustle. Today, as it is Saturday, is going to be a pretty socially packed day, so I just did like my everyday morning routine / school stuff now, and then Luke and I are gonna go take my beautiful dog on a little walk. Her ears just perked up. And then we're gonna go head over to my mom's house because I'm spending a little bit of time with my mom today. We're gonna go to LA, just hang out, and then we have a fun dinner tonight. The dinner is an Ayurvedic inspired Filipino dinner party hosted by one of my best friends, Lorraine. She's an Ayurvedic practitioner and she also loves food, and she's also vegan. So she put on this dinner party, and so it's an actual event in LA, and it's gonna be a whole evening event. I'm bringing my sound bowls because I'm gonna be playing some of my sound bowls for the meditation. And that is a little introduction to Saturday. So I'll show you what that looks like as I go along. Excuse me, ma'am, you are on the mat that I'm trying to roll up. Excuse me, ma'am. Here I am. Okay, there we go. Good girl. You're so silly. I don't know if you guys noticed, but my eyeliner is like kind of faded because I use this super waterproof, I think it's NYX eyeliner, and it does not come off very easily. And some days I just don't feel like using my makeup wipes to just like scrape it off. So I kind of just like let it happen, even though I do wash my face. Most of the makeup comes off, but you know, at least it leaves a little template for the fresh eyeliner the next day. We are getting ready to go on our walk. She's so excited. There we go. Okay, so I have packed a lot of my stuff because I'm just gonna get ready over at the event, and I also am bringing a lot of my equipment, like my sound bowls and stuff, and so I'm a little bit snacky. I'm gonna make a little bit of a protein shake, and I'm using veg protein as usual. This is the chocolate peanut butter cup flavor. I'm gonna bring it with me as a little to-go. Just taking a scoop, putting it into a to-go cup. And I put a little bit of water in the bottom first before I put the powder, just because like I do not like when the powder gets stuck on the bottom. So before using veg, I actually have never really liked having protein shakes, just like the protein and the water by itself, because I just felt like everything else was like really chalky, didn't taste good. And actually for a while I hesitated doing this with the veg protein because I just didn't know what it'd be like. But one time I decided to take a chance and I do not regret it at all. And this is like one of the only proteins that I can actually just mix with water and be really happy with the consistency. It's super smooth, super easy to digest as well. If you're an actual IBS girly, I don't recommend having something as dry as protein powder all the time. Definitely work on like healing your gut. But if you are somebody who has a sensitive gut but you're not necessarily an IBS girly, I highly recommend this protein just because the ingredients are really high quality and really, really easy to digest, at least in my opinion. I used a fork so that I could avoid this. Nope. Still has like... And something else that I like to do is I prefer my drinks warm. It's also an Ayurvedic thing, but I've been doing this for a very long time. Like iced drinks, ice cold things all the time on a regular basis, to me is just not it. So I do like half regular, like room temperature water, and then I'll do half warm. And like on days when I want a little special treat, I'll use like the veg protein chocolate flavor and mix it with hot water, and so it's like a protein hot chocolate. It's so good. And since Luke and I have quite a drive, I'm gonna add some chia seeds in here as well. And the chia seeds are going to expand. As you guys probably know, chia seeds are really great for satiation, and they also have a lot of omega-3s in them as well, and protein and micronutrients, trace minerals like magnesium. So I'm just gonna like pop that in here and let it mix. I don't know if you can see all the chia. I'm gonna let it sit so the chia can get a little thicker, like a chia protein, I don't know, drink. I just let it sit and then I'll drink it in the car. Mom, are you ready to go? For Christmas, I got my parents this big blanket with this picture of Kiara. Do you love it, Dad?
I love her. I love it.
So we're gonna do a little voiceover moment for these clips because I had a fun time with my mom when we went to downtown LA, and it's been a while since I've been able to hang out with my mom like this. So we first had to stop at this acai place, or it's like a juice smoothie place called Nature Well, and I was super hungry. So I got myself an acai bowl with an extra fat dollop of peanut butter because why not? And then I ate that in the car as my mom and I were trying to navigate where we were gonna go next. And my mom is a nurse. She's been working as a nurse for 30 years and she hasn't gotten new scrubs in a few years. So we went to this medical scrub store and she found some scrubs for her. And then we made our way over over to the event that I shared earlier. It's called Dinners with Lorraine, and she put together this beautiful dinner, and we were all able to just kind of bond over vegan, Filipino, Ayurvedic food. I will leave Lorraine's page down in the description if you want to give her a follow, but I just had a fun time with my friends. I played some sound bowls for the meditation to open up with some grounding before our dinner meal, and a few of my best friends showed up, and we're all, close friends here in this circle. Lorraine did a little presentation to share, what it is, why we are doing Dinners with Lorraine, and why it's important for us to really learn how we can incorporate Ayurvedic systems into our own cultural foods. I'm Filipino, so it's really important to me that I stay close to my cultural food. We opened up the dinner with this cassava kind of sweet meal, because in Ayurveda it's good to have sweets at the beginning of your meal. And we just enjoyed the rest of dinner hanging out with beautiful family members and friends. It is now Sunday and I am all dressed in my one piece, and I'm going to actually take part in a little dress try on for one of my best friends, Rachel. She's the one that we live with. She's getting married and she's trying on her wedding dress to just show her bridal party, her sisters, her cousins, and that's just what we're about to get into today. And this is
just waiting for her to get out of the car.
Luke is just waiting for me to get out of the car because we got here and I was like, I'm gonna vlog and introduce. So the bridal shower, I don't even know what to call it. Is it a wedding dress try-on bridal shower type thing? It was a success. Rachel's sister has a beautiful home and she set up this beautiful toast and matcha board. And this is the beautiful bride, my best friend Rachel. And obviously, like I said, I'm not gonna show you guys the dress because that would just ruin the surprise, but we had lots of avocado and nut butter toast. And these are my two best friends, my beautiful best friends from childhood. The real ones are the real ones when they've seen you through your middle school days. And of course, because there was such beautiful lighting in the house and Rachel's sister is the queen of aesthetics, we had lots of photo ops with the matcha. And when I got home, so Luke picked me up, I was hungry again. Surprise, surprise. So I ate some cereal. This cereal by 3 Wishes is so good. It's vegan and it has a lot of protein in it, surprisingly. And I just needed a little snack before Luke and I went grocery shopping, and we did our weekly haul. If you want to see what we get on a usual week, make sure you check out the link in the description. I made a whole grocery haul for you guys. We like to go to 2 usual grocery stores, Grocery Outlet and Sprouts, just to get a variety of things. And also, groceries are so expensive these days. You can't be buying full price on everything. And I ended the weekend on this nice peaceful walk with my dog, just enjoying the beautiful sunset. And that was the end of the weekend. And we are now at the end of the video. The weekend was so fun that I didn't even realize my period was coming the next day. Literally on Monday in the morning, I was like, oh, I kind of feel like what's going on? Because I've been trying to manifest a 28-day cycle, and my cycles have been anywhere between 28 to 32 days and not really extremely consistent, and something that I feel is really important to me, especially for those of you, maybe you know or you don't know, but I've gone through a time of not having a regular cycle and not having a cycle at all. You can go to my channel and just look up HA or hypothalamic amenorrhea if you want to know what happened, why I lost my cycle and how I got my natural cycle again. But you could probably already tell from the vlogs already. If you haven't watched them, make sure you go back and watch some of the other ones. I'm very in tune with my body for the most part, and I like to know about the natural rhythms of my feminine body because there's just so much information here just within our womb, if you are a menstruating human, that high school doesn't teach us about, that even college doesn't teach us about, and I feel really passionate about it. And so on Monday morning I woke up and I was like, what is going on? Why am I cramping? I knew I was in my luteal phase, which is the week before my cycle, but I really expected that my cycle was gonna start later on in the week. And I was cramping hard enough and I was like, oh my gosh, I am bleeding. So I go to the bathroom and I'm like, yes, I am bleeding. So on Monday, I just decided to take it slow. I took a restorative class because the Open app also has restorative yoga classes, which are basically just a combination of yin, sound healing, tuning into the breath, really just grounding down, and that felt so good to my soul. And so I had to wait a few days until I could actually close this vlog so I could feel back on my up and up. And I know that you guys have been requesting that I make a video specifically about the menstrual cycle, the different phases and tips and tricks here and there. So know that that is in the queue. It is happening, it's coming. But if you have any other topics, anything else that you want me to share or talk more about, I'm so happy to do it. Make sure you just leave it in the comments. Otherwise, I don't really know what to share about, what to talk about other than the things that are already happening in my life. So that is the end of the vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really, really love doing these for you, and I love hanging out with you guys here. So thank you for spending some time with me. Thank you for spending the weekend with me. I hope you're all having a wonderful morning, noon, day, or night. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the follow button on Instagram or like the video. Make sure you do so. And I will see you all next time. Bye.